high school hoopers on their way to Duke, like Derek Whitehead, the Naismith National Player of the Year. To Kansas, like Grady Dick, the Gatorade National Player of the Year. And to Villanova, like Cam Whitmore, the Gatorade Player of the Year from the state of Maryland, will own the stage. Final four programs reloading at the McDonald's All-American Game. Before they became legends of the hardwood, some known by just a single name, the McDonald's All-American Game was their introduction to the national stage. Late last month at the NBA at 75 celebration, the immortals of the game were honored, and 17 of them began their journeys as McDonald's All-Americans when they flashed the greatness to come. Tonight, the next generation of stars takes the court, striving to follow in the footsteps of the icons that came before them. We welcome you to the 2022 McDonald's All-American Boys Game, where the stars of tomorrow take the court tonight in Chicago at Wintrust Arena, the home of DePaul and the WNBA's Chicago Sky. 24 of the best high school players in the nation on the floor here tonight. Hi there and welcome. I'm Ted Emmerich, along with Corey Alexander, the McDonald's All-American from Oak Hill Academy, and the McDonald's All-American in his mind from Pope John the 23rd in Boston. Paul Biancardi, ESPN's National Director of Recruiting. Brooke Weisbrod is here as well. Coming up, Paul, this class of 2022 is headlined by Derek Lively II going to Duke.
Yeah, it's 7-1. He dominates the game with the size of a center, along with outstanding skill. He outruns opponents. He's an elite lob catcher and lob finisher. He can convert from one end down to the other better than most. On the defensive end, he can get beat, and he can still get the chase down block. That makes him special. Lively, one of the best shot blockers in the class. He's special because he can guard away from the ball and in the paint. See him get beat straight up, and on the offensive end, he can make a three-point shot. He's headed to Duke to play for John Shire.
Derek Lively II at 7'2", part of that #1 recruiting class, headed to Duke. 3 of the top 5 players in the country going to Duke. Corey, you have your eye on the backcourt of the West.
Absolutely, of course. In 1991, when I had the opportunity to play in this game, it was about the guards then. It's about the guards now. And Dick Vitale called us lead guards. And we've got 2 great lead guards in this game. Nick Smith Jr., who has been impressive to everyone here. And, of course, Amari Bailey, who is hanging out with Brooke right now.
All right, here with Amari Bailey. And Amari, you played in a lot of big games. How does being a McDonald's All-American playing in this arena tonight, how does that feel?
It's definitely up there with one of the biggest games of my life, really. It's something I dreamed about as a kid. Words can't even describe how I'm feeling right now.
You started off right here in Chicago. This is your hometown. What does it feel like to play in front of all these fans?
I mean, it's just a surreal feeling anytime you get a chance to come back home and display your talent, to just show the work that you've been putting in. I've been home for 3 years, so I'm just happy to be back, really.
All right, we're ready to see a show from you tonight. Good luck. All right.
Brooke Bailey has been playing on ESPN since he was a freshman in high school, but there is no bigger stage than the McDonald's All-American Game. Derek Lively, starting for the East, as you would expect, joined by his future college teammate at Duke, Derek Whitehead, Dylan Mitchell, Chris Livingston, and Jarris Walker, the 5-star prospect headed to Houston, rounding out that lineup. MJ Rice not available tonight. Reporting to McDonald's All-American staff, he could not participate due to injury. Jaden Bradley is out with a broken big toe on his right foot. As for the West starting lineup, Keontae George, the #3 player in the ESPN 100, headed to Baylor. Joined by Cason Wallace, the #1 point guard in the class, future Kentucky Wildcats. And Amari Bailey will come off the bench in his homecoming here in Chicago. Off we go, 20-minute halves, college three-point line in the McDonald's All-American Game, which is back for the first time in 3 years.
We have 9 of the top 10 prospects in the class in this game. The practices have been competitive. The scrimmage was competitive. I expect these guys to compete tonight.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, PB. And when you consider these guys, they've done a great job of competing. And that's not often the things that we see in the McDonald's All-American game, but this group has been special.
Jarris Walker opens the scoring for the East from New Freedom, Pennsylvania. First 5-star recruit for Kelvin Sampson in his 8 years at Houston. The West with the response, Cason Wallace. And there is Derek Lively at 7'2", hanging out above the rim.
I guess
the ability to run the floor, catch it, and finish at 7'1", 7'2", is special.
And I think we should not really expect great transition defense in this game, even though they will be competing.
Really? But sure about that, Corey? But an all-star game.
Let's expect great transition offense.
Oh, yes. We're looking forward to that.
This could be Lob City and Layup City tonight.
Nick Smith Jr., part of the #2 recruiting class for 2022, going to Arkansas, feeding Keontae George, who misses the three. Corey, what's impressed you the most as you have taken in the practices and the scrimmages here this week?
Honestly, it's the leadership. When you think about the guys who have really been vocal in this, and when you come into this type of environment, oftentimes guys are more so concerned about being cool in comparison to going out and showing that true leadership. But we've seen it from a number of players. Nick Smith Jr., Amari Bailey, Dariq Whitehead stepping up, knocking down a three, has been a leader as well.
Smith blocked by Lively, but Wallace corrals it for the West. Nick Smith Jr. has had NBA scouts raving over the last few days.
He's been filling up some notebooks on the sideline.
Got to create here, three to shoot against the taller Chris Livingston. Couldn't bank it in. Whitehead wants another three. This time way off. Lively with the putback. Paul, so impressive, right, Lively?
And this season, he's had a lot of double-doubles. In fact, in one game against Vertical Academy, he had 22 points and 20 rebounds with 5 blocks. He can get some high double-doubles.
And we also have to remember this East team had a big lead in the scrimmage, the West came back and beat them. I'm sure that's something they were reminded of by the coaching staff, and Derek Lively looks like he's out here to get a win.
Lively's special because not only can he block shots and rebound, he can make the open three from the outside. He is today's NBA center.
Lively and Whitehead wears number 0 for the Blue. Will play for John Shire next year. Chris Livingston drills the three. The East has built a double-digit lead here in the first 3 minutes in Chicago.
Should I mention now the 34th McDonald's All-American out of Oak Hill Academy, Chris Livingston stepping up, knocking down a big three, wearing Kobe Bryant's number, although he's from LeBron James' hometown. And you see Chris Livingston lining it up, knocking it down, and the East off to a great start.
Livingston, Oak Hill's first McDonald's All-American since Cole Anthony, who was the MVP of the 2019 game. Such a storied program, Corey. You know all about it, having played in the early days under Steve Smith, who's retiring at the end of the season. We're the Titans of high school basketball, and Livingston continues that lineage.
He absolutely has that, and congratulations to Coach Smith. Over 1,200 wins at Oak Hill. Now just going to play golf full-time in comparison to part-time when he's not in practice on the hill.
He played a little golf back in the early 90s, didn't he?
He's been playing golf forever.
Not going to be playing golf this weekend.
No.
Geico Nationals. He's trying to get a championship on the way out.
Starting Thursday on ESPNU, Oak Hill will be in the first quarterfinal of the day, noon Eastern, on Thursday, with Livingston in action.
I wouldn't be so sure. Florida, best believe his golf bag is on that plane. He'll find some time.
The West down by 10 early. Nick Smith and Jordan Walsh wearing 23 headed to Arkansas. And Smith with the floater.
He's so dangerous because he has a float game, a three-point shot with great elevation, and the pull-up game is his calling card. He's hard to guard one-on-one.
So I went through the list of guys and asked who's going to be the MVP here tonight. Jarris Walker, I talked to him, I talked to Nick Smith, and of course, as expected, most of these guys said me. And Nick Smith Jr. also declared, I got a triple-double for you tonight, CA, so I'm looking forward to watching that here in the McDonald's game.
And he told me a triple-double plus a W.
Oh, okay.
He's going to get the win and a triple-double.
Amari Bailey was the one who told me the W.
Yeah, he reminds me a little bit, Nick Smith, of Cole Anthony, who I know you're close with. The explosion, the ability to score one-on-one, score first, pass second. What do you think?
I can definitely see some Cole Anthony in him, and I asked Nick who he felt like he played like, and he models his game after. And of course, he went Ja Morant. And I spent time with John Morant at CP3 as well, and I can see some of that now. He's a great athlete. I'm not sure that he's explosive as John Morant, but bigger than John Morant. And that wingspan, as you talked about yesterday, PB, it gives him an advantage.
Yeah, 6'9" wingspan makes him a dangerous defender in the future. How about the class by Arkansas? Eric Musselman picked up Anthony Black yesterday.
Also a McDonald's All-American who we've not seen just yet. We sure will. 3 5-star prospects headed to Fayetteville.
This is what I'm talking about. Look at the defense, though.
Livingston against Smith, and the foul is called.
Nick Smith just sat down, slid his feet, made the stop. How about this class? My goodness gracious, you put Anthony Black with Jordan Walsh, Nick Smith Jr., you got 1, 2, and 3. Darian Ford, 6'4", built like a brick house. Barry Dunning is a great athlete, and Joseph Pinion can stroke it from the outside. They could be top 5 next year preseason.
And love the tweet by Eric Musselman sitting there looking at 3 McDonald's burgers. He's got 3 Burger Boys coming next year to bolster the Must Bus.
Coming on, yeah, that Must Bus has gotten its oil changed. It's been gassed up and ready to go after back-to-back Elite 8 appearances.
It's a freight train right now. It's not a bus anymore.
Smith guarded by Livingston at the other end. Livingston has 3 inches on him. Smith with the spin. Livingston got a piece of it. On the run out, Dylan Mitchell, the highest flyer in the class of 2022.
But I tell you what, the defense by the East early in this game has been spectacular. We talked about Derek Lively with the block shot. Chris Livingston doing a great job sitting down in the stands, getting the job done defensively as well, taking on one of the best in the class.
And what I love about this McDonald's group is the versatility. We see Dylan Mitchell, great finish by
Khalil Ware, who is headed to Oregon from North Little Rock, Arkansas, and a high school teammate of Nick Smith Jr. Ware with the finish. And a timeout. The East opening up a 9-point lead.
Dylan Mitchell is the best athlete in the senior class. Easy slam on the fast break.
With Home Chef, you're not just home cooking, you're home winning. Our fast and fresh meal kits are as fast to make as they are fresh to enjoy. When it comes to making dinner, fill in the blanks with Home Chef. Delicious, meat simple.
Get 16 free meals when you sign up at homechef.com.
We're all on our own journey towards achieving our dreams, but we don't have to do it alone. Luckily, I found Zen Business, and they flawlessly helped me navigate all the required filings with the state.
Personally, I was feeling a bit overwhelmed until I found Zen Business. Their all-in-one platform made the whole process so easy. Entrepreneurs like us know how big a relief it is to have someone there to handle all of this business stuff so we can stay focused on growing our business.
Check them out and get your business started at zenbusiness.com/TV.
Is presented by McDonald's. And in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Some of the legends of the game have gotten their start at the McDonald's All-American game. Saw Chicago's own Anthony Davis, Jason Kidd, Jermaine O'Neal from the 1996 McDonald's game here in attendance.
And got a chance to talk with J.O. pre-game, and you consider a young man that went straight from high school to the NBA. Can remember playing against him at the Portland Trail Blazers early, and he was a special player, especially when he moved on to Indiana.
Did he block your shot?
I think everybody blocked my shot at some point or another.
That's because you only have sneaky bounce.
Oh, don't start that again. From last night at the Powerade Jam Fest, the 5 levels of bounce from Paul B. and Cardi. You forgot negative bounce. That's what I have.
And I have no bounce.
East up 15-6. Getting going here in the boys' McDonald's All-American game. Here's Arterio Morris, who made the switch from the west to the east because of Jaden Bradley's injury. Morris headed to Texas, and he missed everything on the 3. Amari Bailey in for the first time, Chicago's own. the number 2 player in the ESPN 100, 10 in the red, headed to UCLA. Down low, his high school teammate, Kajani Wright from Sierra Canyon in Southern California, missed the shot.
Kajani Wright is a load inside, headed to USC.
Brandon Miller, 3-pointer off the mark, but an offensive board by Ernest Uday, who's going to Kansas. Julian Phillips misses the 3. Anthony Black ahead to Mark Mitchell for the slam. Mitchell, part of that #1 recruiting class, going to Duke. Got to get back, though. Cam Whitmore missed the layup.
I believe Black may have gotten away with one on that possession, but he showed off part of why Paul Biancardi calls him the best passer in the class.
Bailey, the lefty, cans the 3 for the West.
You know, we watched in the scrimmage, Amari Bailey wasn't looking to score, but you see coming out in this game with his team down, he feels like he has to get some points on the board, so we may see him more aggressive scoring the basketball here tonight.
Well, give and go. Morris and Uday both will play in the Big 12 next year. Foul call.
Watch this pass by Anthony Black. Head up, eyes up. He throws it right inside, right to the basket. Leads his man, and then Amari Bailey, feet set, knocking it down. A prolific scoring guard who can play a little bit of point. Best combo guard in the class.
And that is what we refer to as my guy Dick Vitale saying a lead guard. And when you think about a guy not only leading his team vocally and on the floor, playing the point guard position and leading the team in assists, but also leading the team in points. And that was the part that I love most about Dickie V calling me a lead guard.
Dickie V is watching this game, by the way.
And we wish
Text
our
it with him today.
very best to Dickie V. Such encouraging news over the last few weeks as he continues to progress. Cam Whitmore lays it in, the future Villanova Wildcats.
Yeah, Dickie V has more energy than all 3 of us combined.
Absolutely. And by the way, Ted, that was the first name drop of the day, and I'm going to say it wasn't me.
Oh,
that was Biancardi.
It won't be the last, and this might not be the last 3 from Grady Dick, considered the best pure shooter in the class, going to Kansas. Over to Brooke with Dylan Mitchell.
All right, Dylan, the East came out with some serious defense tonight. Was that something you guys talked about pregame? What was the strategy?
That was the whole goal, you know, come out, play some defense, defend, and we're going to get the win. So as long as we all play together as a team offensively, we're going to do what we got to do. It's all about defense right now. Just got to defend, get the win.
It's a little bit about offense because I saw you in that fast break, that transition. What was going through your mind about how to finish?
I was going to turn the crowd up a little bit, but keep it smooth right now. Make sure we keep the lead, and I was about to do something crazy, though.
We'll look for it in the second half, okay?
Appreciate it.
He absolutely has something crazy. You're talking about the best athlete in the class, and love his personality, a young man whose best basketball is ahead of him.
Brandon Miller, the block and the assist to Julian Phillips.
And not only the assist and the block, the goggles to the crowd, letting them know I have that type of vision.
Miller the block again on Wright, but the foul is called this time. Back to Dylan Mitchell, Paul. Chris Beard says he's got special written all over him. Mitchell says that Beard has told him, hey, I don't look at you like you're a 2, a 3, or a 4. You're just a basketball player. That fits who he is.
He can be anything he wants. The upside as a defender is outstanding. Chris Beard and his staff went to visit Dylan Mitchell before he left for McDonald's and the Geico Nationals, just to give him a word of encouragement. I mean, that is when you're connected to your recruits. Dylan Mitchell has NBA written on him. He's just got to put the skill level together with the defense and the coaching of Chris Beard.
In Beard's first year, he signed that huge class from the transfer portal. This year, 2 McDonald's All-Americans in Mitchell and Morris.
And Morris has so much natural ability. Right now we see him with the ball, little drive. Still got to learn the nuances of the game.
Numbers for the West. Black leaves it for Bailey.
Anthony Black loves to make the game easy for others, and he is easy to play with. One of the reasons he picked Arkansas, he loves the game of Nick Smith. He says, Nick can score buckets, I can give out assists, we can make a good team.
And I went through what Anthony Black went through coming to the McDonald's game and being recruited by guys here. Of course, my year, it was the Fab Five, so I was recruited by Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King, and of course, Jawan Howard.
Oh, Cam Whitmore going sky high for the rejection. And Ernest Uday finishes at the other end.
It's rare in the McDonald's game you see turning defense into offense, but that has really been what the East has been about early in this game.
So you're telling me it could have been the Fab Six
It was
at Michigan.
It was a Fab Five, but it was 5 McDonald's All-Americans. Hold on, let's
Watch
pause.
out! Arterio Morris, the punch.
Once again, the East getting out in transition.
But they're getting out in transition because they are guarding, and they have great length on the perimeter.
And I love the way they've approached this game, starting it out, knowing that they have a defensive mindset. Dylan Mitchell talked about that. And that's something that as a team you have to decide on. The coach isn't going to get you to play defense in a game like this.
Bailey, what a feed. Black trying to feed right. It's off his hands. Out of bounds. Timeout here in Chicago.
Turning defense into offense. We've seen it from the East as they continue to pour it on. The huge block as Cam Whitmore skies for the block, getting out in transition, and the lob to finish it off.
Every patient that walks into my pharmacy, I think of them as family. So you better believe I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure that they're getting that adequate, care, that medication. As a pharmacist, I'm a huge advocate for GoodRx. I saw a price go from $300 to $65. Thanks to GoodRx, more people are walking away with their prescriptions in their hands. They're happy and they're healthy.
If you suffer from depression or anxiety and feel alone, get the help you need at lemonadehealth.com. Get personalized treatment from Lemonade's caring medical staff from the comfort of your home. And prescriptions are promptly sent to your door. 80% of patients who start treatment with Lemonade feel better within 3 months. Visit us at lemonadehealth.com today.
First, it's Louisville and South Carolina at 7 Eastern. Then, UConn making its 14th straight Final Four appearance, matching up with the defending champion Stanford. Both games on ESPN and the ESPN app. Stanford also has the #1 player in the nation, who we saw earlier in the McDonald's girls game, Lauren Betts. Here is Derek Lively, the #1 player in the class of 2022 on the boys' side, part of the East squad that is up by 6.
But how about the Pac-12 is going to be loaded up with talent? I believe it's 11 of the young ladies that played in the women's game earlier going to the Pac-12. That's a strong recruiting year for the Pac-12 conference.
How about that? 11 of the 24 players we saw going to the Pac-12. East in the blue, West in the red. Livingston. Oh, Corey loves this. Oh, kill guy. He does give it up, though. Whitehead over Walsh, and he splashes in the 3. Dariq Whitehead, the #4 player in the ESPN 100, going to Duke.
And that's where the biggest improvement has come with Dariq Whitehead. He was a slasher early as Keontae George knocks down the 3. But Dariq Whitehead has really worked on his game, improved under Kevin Boyle, been at Montverde for 5 years.
Since his 8th grade season, Jarris Walker collects and flushes the future Houston Cougar.
And speaking about guys who've improved, Jarris Walker changed his body this summer, became serious about the game, great skill package, combination of physicality and finesse.
Walker just looks so physically imposing. Oh, now the block on Kaysen Wallace. Impressive to stay in front despite the Euro. Dylan Mitchell puts it in.
He just glides up and down the court. He's got an incredible vertical, great second jump. Jump shots coming. That's the missing piece in his game.
Smith trying to get past Livingston. That's been a fun matchup early. Walker the steal for the East. Whitehead collects. And it's stolen by Kalel Ware. Ahead to his high school teammate, Nick Smith Jr. They were champions in Arkansas at North Little Rock High School.
And if you're thinking about throwing the ball over Ware, you have to go, that's the route you got to go around him. You're not going over top. Dariq Whitehead with the smart play to go around and under.
The intensity has picked up in this game. Guys are going really hard.
Oh, there's some intensity. Kalel Ware, the stick back.
I believe he has been the surprise of the week. I think the NBA scouts have really fallen in love with Kalel Ware, his athleticism, and more importantly, his ability to catch the basketball and finish.
Foul called. Ware, the last line of defense against Livingston. Paul, you think Khalil Ware has as much upside as anyone?
I think he has the most upside in the class, right next to Derek Lively. Watch this get up and put down. One-handed. I mean, his hands are so secure to catch passes. He's got great skill. He can shoot it from the outside. He's an elite shot blocker and finisher.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, PB. We watched him go about 12 feet up in the air to block a shot in the scrimmage the other night, and then more importantly, his ability to change ends of the floor, running from offense to defense or vice versa, makes him special, especially with that size.
Just a motor right now for him.
West on the run again. George couldn't finish the lob from Nick Smith Jr.
I'll tell you what, talk about getting up. Keontae got up on that one, unable to finish. I think he hit his arm on the side of the backboard.
Looks to be all right. Thankfully, headed to Baylor.
Oh, that's not a bad thing. You hit your arm on the side of the backboard, that's a compliment.
I hit my arm on the side of a backboard once.
How far did they lower the backboard?
No, I was up on a ladder.
There you go.
Didn't use a trampoline?
I needed one.
Uh-oh.
Wallace, the pickpocket. I'll try to leave it for Dick. Walsh, fancy move with Lively lurking.
How about Ware with that pass inside?
Dylan Mitchell right back at you.
Such a fantastic finisher, Dylan Mitchell. He can do it with body control or freakish bounce.
But guys are getting an opportunity to show off their finishing because so often in a game like this, no one can test shots. But we've seen guys being able to make plays at the rim, avoiding the shot blockers. And of course, when you're talking shot blockers, you got to talk Khalil Ware, and not only getting it done defensively, but offensively as well with the beautiful find. Jordan Walsh with the beautiful finish.
From Duncanville, Texas, just south of Dallas. Yeah, he picked the right Powerade bottle. All red for Arkansas, giving the Hogs an even better class, and Anthony Black is with Brooke.
All right, so Anthony, you had a big announcement last night. What has been the reaction since you shared the news?
My family was happy. A lot of love from the fans. Nick and Jordan, my future teammates, are happy. And then just people in my circle glad I made the right decision, so it was a good decision.
I don't know if you saw Coach Musselman's tweet with the 3 burgers out in front of him, but what was your reaction when you saw that?
It was just funny. Coach Muss is an energetic, funny guy, so it didn't surprise me he put the tweet out. It was funny.
And how's the game feeling for you tonight? You like the pace?
Oh yeah, I mean, I like the pace. It's fun, good environment, and it's good players, so it's fun.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Brooke, thank you. It's the #2 recruiting class that's heading to Arkansas as Cam Whitmore uses the Euro for 2.
The fun part about that is Coach Muss is an energetic, funny guy until you start practice.
Until the first day of practice.
You'll see a different Coach Muss at that point.
Arkansas had not pulled in a 5-star recruit since Bobby Portis in 2013, and they've got 3 in this class with Nick Smith, Jordan Walsh, and Anthony Black.
And speaking of defense, Anthony Black can really guard. Played for David Peavy at Duncanville, who's a great defensive coach. They won a state championship. So not only can Anthony Black pass and facilitate, he can defend.
Black spent part of his childhood in Germany. His father, Terry, a Baylor Athletic Hall of Famer, played overseas.
His grandfather, for his 16th birthday, Anthony Black, gave him some money to invest in the stock market. Anthony took a financial course, and now he is a day trader. Making some money, Anthony Black.
I tell you what.
How about that gift from your grandfather?
That's a great gift.
And a great idea.
Yeah, but when you look at this generation, you're talking about a number of young men who have a very, entrepreneurial spirit. Not just Anthony Black. His teammate, future teammate, Jordan Walsh is opening acai and a shaved ice shop, where he goes to school, like Linky here in Branson, Missouri. And you're talking about guys who are starting businesses in high school. And that's not something I was thinking anything about 31 years ago when I was playing in this game.
We've all talked about wanting more financial literacy as
Right.
young people. These players in this game have it.
They have all the information that they'll ever need, and a lot of these guys seek it out.
Grady Dick, the lob for Blacko, just mistimed it. Kajani Wright had it stripped. Black took it right back, and Amari Bailey lays it in for the West.
Now, I've been doing the McDonald's game about 5 years now. That's the first time I've seen anyone pick up full court in this game. And this has really been a different atmosphere for this group. I love the way they've competed.
Julian Phillips right down the chute, the top undecided player in the nation after decommitting from LSU earlier this month.
5 in the blue, just oozes with upside. Long athletic skill with a great feel for the game, Julian Phillips.
Well, don't miss the NBA Wednesday doubleheader coming your way on ESPN. First, the top team in the East matching up with the Celtics in Boston, Paul. They're just one game out of first in the East. That's at 7:30 Eastern. Then the team with the best record in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns, matching up with the Warriors at 10 Eastern. Coverage begins tomorrow with NBA Countdown presented by Mountain Dew at 7 Eastern.
PB, can you name a McDonald's All-American off of each one of those teams?
I just missed it.
Oh, come on. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart with the Celtics. With the Suns, Chris Paul, 2003 McDonald's All-American. Devin Booker.
Devin Booker. All right, Miami Heat. Tyler Hero. Bam Adebayo.
Yes.
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins with the Warriors.
With the Warriors, right. All right, look at you, Ted.
Look at this. You guys, it's like we're doing our homework or something.
You guys knew the
Paul was
promo was coming.
behind.
It's not the first time.
Paul was working while the promo was on, though.
Paul's ESPN's national director of recruiting. He's doing other homework right now.
He's over here with all these papers, and of course, I come out with only my phone.
And right hit the top of the backboard. Paul has always got the stack of papers, so knowledgeable about this class. If you had to sum up the class of 2022, how would you frame them?
I love the across-the-board size, I love the versatility, and I love the competitiveness. There's not a lot of stars in this class. Looking at Lively, Nick Smith, Dylan Mitchell as stars right now, but there's a lot of developing stars that are in this game. So I think it's got great depth, but not a lot of star power, but good star power at the top.
Ken Whitmore draws the foul. Yeah, Corey, the interesting thing is we look at the top 10 players in 2022. This could have been a stronger class if certain players did not reclassify. You think of Jalen Duren and Amani Bates at Memphis. They were originally in 2022. Shaedon Sharpe as well before enrolling at Kentucky.
I believe so, and of course you would have had even more star power at the top of this class if you see that. But still a number of great players in this game and guys who we will hear their name called, you know, a little over a year from now in the lottery of the NBA draft.
And I got to give a shout out to Kyle Filipowski, who's a fifth-year high school player. 50 years can't play in the McDonald's game. He is a McDonald's All-American. So you talk about stars, Kyle Filipowski going to Duke. My goodness, that class is just outrageous.
3 top 5 players will play for John Shire in his first season as the head coach. Amari Bailey, creative finish here in his hometown of Chicago.
Difference maker. Amari Bailey knows how to score, but it's more than a scorer. Facilitator, has the ability to find his teammates and make the right play.
West had numbers. Dick gathers it. Black. And couldn't finish, going reverse.
It's really hard to score in this game when the defense is back. These guys are so long, so athletic. We're courtside. Anywhere from 6'6" to 6'9" with great wingspan.
And you speak about long and athletic. There's my guy, Brandon Miller, the nice Euro to the finish. And you're talking about 6'8" with unlimited skill, has every skill that you can ask for on the basketball court.
Grady Dick, NBA range. Off the mark here. Loose ball. And out to the east.
The backcourt for the West. Grady Dick, 6'7". Anthony Black, 6'7". Amari Bailey, 6'4". Those are big guards.
And Dick is a lot more than a shooter. That was his label early in his high school career. He has expanded his game.
Oh, he's a driver, finisher, free throw shooter, and he's a really good off-ball defender. But make no mistake about it, the strength of his game is to make shots coming off screens or to spot up on his teammates' penetration. And he's going to be impact for Bill Self.
The Wichita kid staying home says that Kansas has always been his dream school.
And I love the way he moves without the basketball and comes off of screens. Not a lot of guys can do that off the ball.
You know, one of the things that's been surprising about this game, the East playing without a true point guard, and Dariq Whitehead continues to light it up. He and Chris Livingston really have shared the role in the backcourt, but doing a great job against the great guards of the West.
Smith rejected by Lively.
Uh-oh, let's get up.
Chris Livingston from Oak Hill Academy. Corey, you got to love that.
Nope, I don't love it because I wanted him to throw it up to Dylan Mitchell. Dylan gave the basketball up. You got to get it back. Throw it up for the highlight.
Chris Livingston says, I'm going to get mine too now. Loose ball, scooped up, Keontae George. Livingston again in transition. And it's West ball. An official timeout here late in the first half in Chicago. The East up by 19.
Dariq Whitehead didn't do as well as he wanted to in the three-point contest, but he is putting on here tonight, knocking down 3 after 3 after 3.
Ashley has seasonal.
McDonald's All-American game. Morgan Wooten, the legendary coach and Naismith Hall of Famer, and Bob Gagan. Both have passed away since the last McDonald's All-American games were played 3 years ago. Wooten's name is on the court tonight. And we're also leaving an empty seat at the scores table to honor Gagan. Without Wooten and Gagan, we would not have this showcase. And Paul, I know you met the great Morgan Wooten very early in your coaching career.
I did. I was attending a coaching clinic put on by Reebok in the early 90s. Couldn't afford to do it, to go, so I asked if I could work it. They said, sure, pick up some guys at the airport. And at Logan International Airport, I picked up Morgan Wooten. And there was Coach Wooten at the last McDonald's All-American game that he was at a few years ago, and got to pick him up in 1990, pick his brain for about 30 minutes, asked for his number. He said, call my secretary. Great teacher of the game and Hall of Fame coach in person. But, you know, Bob Gagan tried to put this game together by reaching Morgan Wooten and John Wooden. And he went to John Wooden, he said, I want to do this all-star game. Would you do it with me? He goes, I'll only do it with you if you get Morgan Wooten involved. So he called Morgan Wooten, and Morgan Wooten said, I'll only do it if you get John Wooten. Bob Gagan put the game together, got both guys involved, and the rest was history.
Here we are 45 years later, still celebrating the young stars of the game. Jarris Walker misses the fall away.
You know, you get opportunity to see those pictures. You've got the great Sonny Hill. Oh!
Cason Wallace up top.
But the nice find from Jordan Walsh. But in those pictures, of course, you see Howard Garfinkel, the innovator, the five-star master, you know, Sonny Hill. But we would be remiss also if we didn't mention the loss of the great Tom Konchowski, who was probably one of the biggest contributors to grassroots basketball over the past 5 generations.
The glider. He was everywhere. Great pass by Jordan Walsh to Cason Wallace. You know, Wallace isn't a flashy player, but he may be the best on-ball defender in this game.
And Wallace has been another one of those leaders that we've seen throughout the week, stepping up, being vocal, and more importantly, making the right play, which oftentimes you don't see in all-star games.
Well, he and Chris Livingston is going to bring some defense to Big Blue Nation.
Top 5 recruiting class, yet again pulled in by John Calipari. Jarris Walker caught it back, and the reverse slam.
Just a combination of ball skills, shooting, he's playing better defense than he's ever played before, and he is ferocious on the glass, Jarris Walker.
Battled injuries throughout his junior year. He's back to his explosive self as a senior. Kalel Ware taking Lively out to the baseline. Missed everything, out of bounds, but it'll stay at this end. Now, Jarris Walker, according to his coach at IMG Academy in Florida, Sean McAloon, has finally embraced his body, starting his offensive game from the lane and working out. He was a little too perimeter-oriented early on in his high school career.
Yeah, when he changed and went inside out, became more productive, but the biggest change was in the body. And he was a little fleshy. He got in shape, he committed to the weight room, committed to conditioning, and it's paid off big time.
Fleshy, huh? Nick Smith Jr., the elevation.
And Nick Smith showing off his athleticism off of the miss from his BBE teammate. And you see both these guys going at it right now. You watch this for Brad Beal Elite. These two guys in the backcourt going at it, and of course, playing in the Peach Jam Championship back in July.
One of the great summer grassroots programs out there, falling to team final, which had Derek Lively. Miller trying to go glass. Uday, the future Kansas Jayhawk, keeps it alive for the East. But Grady Dick, his future college teammate at Kansas, takes it away.
Uday is going to be a terrific post for Bill Self. Great hands, strong rebounder.
Dick, the sidestep. Final minute of the first half. Morris launches and drains the three. Arterio Morris from Dallas, headed to Texas.
And you also have to remember, Arterio Morris was supposed to be on the opposite team. He was the late addition to the East when MJ Rice and Jaden Bradley were unable to play.
Whitmore, the scoop, plus the foul. Cam Whitmore has been awfully impressive over the last few days here in Chicago.
I mean, how quick was that step? 6'6", 225 pounds. Watch his quick inside-out move and a finish with the left hand.
I cannot wait to see Cam Whitmore after a year of tutelage from Jay Wright in the Villanova program. He is going to be special. I can't say he's going to be there more than a year. He already has an NBA body.
He's a powerful leaper. He's got great footwork.
Whitmore,
watch out.
Take off the windmill.
Don't you love it when that happens? When you talk up a guy, talk about how powerful of a leaper he is, and then he gets out in the break and shows off a windmill.
I mean, look how strong his shoulders are. Look how wide. This guy is the definition of powerful.
Whitmore says he was blown away by Jay Wright's presentation on his visit to Villanova. Wright compared him to recent players, Sadiq Bey, Eric Paschal, Mikal Bridges, all NBA draft picks.
Not just all NBA draft picks, all professionals. And you're talking about guys who are in rotations, getting the job done in the NBA.
Final seconds, Cason Wallace. In and out, Ware couldn't stick it back in. And the East carries a 20-point lead to the break.
I would say it's trouble time for the West, but we saw the West get down big in the scrimmage on Sunday and then find their way back into the game.
One of the standouts of the first half, Tariq Whitehead is with Brooke.
All right, Tariq, 11 points, 5 assists in the first half, not bad. What kind of shots are you seeing open up for yourself out here?
It's just the shots that the defense giving me. You know, our main thing was to come here and take open shots. Our coach believed in us and told us to keep shooting. So that's just the shot. I'm looking for the shots they're giving me, but the main thing is I'm looking to win the game, and that's the shots they're giving me, so I'm going to do that.
I like it. All out here about winning the game. So when you play, I mean, you're playing against the best guys in the country right now. How does it feel to have this kind of performance against the best of the best?
It's a blessing. You know, as a kid, you look forward to this game, and then when you actually get here to know that you're doing a good job in the game is just a blessing. So, you know, I can look forward to continuing that in the second half.
Heard that. All right, Tariq, thanks.
Thank you.
Tariq Whitehead, the Naismith National Player of the Year with 3 triples in the first half, 11 points. The East up by 20 in the McDonald's All-American game, making its return for the first time since 2019. Lil Baby entertaining the crowd. What am I saying? Entertaining the crowd here in Chicago. I know the song. I can't get the name right. Come on now. Here at Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Lil Baby, the halftime presentation. We are at the half of the McDonald's All-American game. The East by 20. Second half is next. Welcome back to the 2022 McDonald's All-American Boys game. Lil Baby will drip too hard here in Chicago. He has disappeared into the ether after an awesome halftime show here at Wintrust Arena. The 2022 McDonald's All-American game, the East up by 20. Well, last night at the Powerade Jam Fest, Ashlyn Watkins made more history. The third girl to win the dunk contest in the 35-year history of the event. Paying homage to Candace Parker here in the home of the Chicago Sky. Nick Smith Jr. with the phone in hand, throwing it down. but Smith was edged out just by a bit. You see what was on his phone as Smith exploded at the rim. Ashlyn Watkins, the winner. The lob from Jarris Walker. Watkins headed to South Carolina, and Ashlyn Watkins goes back-to-back. Fran Beliebe 3 years ago winning the dunk contest, and Ashlyn Watkins does it last night. Hey there, glad to be back courtside. Corey Alexander, Paul Biancardi, I'm Ted Emmerich. I'm not Lil Baby.
No, you just lost all your hood credibility, by the way. Lil Bailey, I'm getting texts all kinds of, get your man.
I'm going to lose mine right now. You ready? I enjoyed Dominique Jones at halftime.
Oh, no. I didn't have any credibility to start with. I was thinking of Amari Bailey. Paulie, you have to be impressed by Dariq Whitehead so far here in this first half for the East.
Outstanding, 11 points, 5 rebounds. He is 3 for 4 from distance. Dariq Whitehead has shown his versatility by knocking the shots down. He's been efficient in this game, taking what little defense has given him. He has that alpha dog mentality. Plays for Kevin Boyle, Montverde Academy. And he's been aggressive coming off ball screens, spotting up. Going against Amari Bailey one-on-one.
11 points in that first half, 3 triples, 5 assists as well for Whitehead. The number 4 player in the ESPN 100 headed to Duke. Here's his future college teammate, Derek Lively, number 1 player in the class. And Whitehead way off on that 3.
And Ted and PB, we talked about in the first half, I thought we would see the lineup with both Nick Smith and Amari Bailey in it. And right now, that's the way the West are going to start off the second half, trying to dig themselves out of this 20-point hole.
What do you like about that lineup, Corey?
Well, you have 2 playmakers, so not only do you have guys that can go get their own, but they can make plays for their teammates, and they're going to need that against what's been a stingy East defense, and you don't hear that often in the McDonald's game.
Chris Livingston defended well by Kajani Wright. Smith hanging, trying to finish, could not do it over Whitehead. Mark Mitchell does. Mitchell headed to Duke.
Mitchell was fantastic yesterday in the skills competition.
Jarris Walker showing a little bit of range.
And showing that he is a mismatch problem. Put him on the block against smaller, he'll punish. He can face up against bigger from the outside. Kelvin Sampson has 2 outstanding prospects coming in next year. Also, Terry Arsenal, ESPN Top 100 player.
And I love that choice by Jarris Walker to go to Houston, knowing who he is and knowing what fits him. I think that's a great fit for his personnel, what Kelvin Sampson loves to do in Houston.
And Corey, you said it, he wanted to go play for Kelvin Sampson. Of course, Houston recruited him, but he had his choice, Jarris Walker. Of any coach in the country, he wanted to play for Kelvin Sampson. He wants to take his game to the next level defensively. Who better?
He picked Houston over Alabama and Auburn. Sampson has said, I don't see Jarris Walker as a 5-star prospect. I see his best basketball ahead of him. We're going to teach him how to play hard and compete at Houston. Whitehead fading.
Now, one of the things we saw from Dariq Whitehead in the first half, and he talked about it with Brooke at halftime, he was taking good shots. We've seen him force a couple here in the second half. I'm not sure if that's the one that they want to take right now.
That was a bad shot. The one that went inside to Lively, then out to him, I thought was a great shot in rhythm. How about the passing ability by 7'2", Derek Lively to throw it back outside?
Grady Dick, no, but Kajani Wright, yes. Wright headed to USC.
There are no blockouts in the McDonald's All-American game, and there are no charges taken.
Wait a minute, we've seen defense. Now, blocking out, that's asking a little too much for a McDonald's game.
I was starting to think about defense. You guys were talking about Kelvin Sampson.
Livingston to the rack, he puts it in, plus the foul.
And no flex. Think about that. Going through the contact, getting the bucket, opportunity for the and one as Grady Dick goes around the nice left-handed attempt, but unable to finish. A teammate there to clean it up, and then Chris Livingston going through the contact, the finish, and more importantly, acting like he's been there before.
And that's where he's best, Chris Livingston. In the open floor, he excels in transition in the half court. He is a driver.
Wright missed the jumper, Walker the rebound, and the pass ahead to Dariq Whitehead.
And so many of these guys, Corey, is so good in offensive transition. The ability to go from defense to offense. They can score, finish, and shoot it behind the line.
Wright off balance. Loose ball. Picked up by Amari Bailey. Chicago product. Down low, Mitchell swallowed up by Derek Lively. Jarris Walker. Oh, a little finger roll. I thought he was about to pound it.
I love seeing the teammates, Dariq Whitehead and Jarris Walker, working together, because this weekend we're going to see them battling at Geico when you consider Montverde and IMG.
Starting Thursday on ESPNU, a Geico national champion will be crowned right with the baseline J.
Post feed by Grady Dick. You don't see a lot of guys throwing it into the post, but Kajani Wright, 6'8", 225, chiseled. He's going to be a really good player at USC on the glass and scoring on the blocks.
Whitehead trying to find Livingston inside, off his hands and out to the west. Now, Chris Livingston is Akron's best prospect since, yes, LeBron James. Livingston born 4 months after LeBron was drafted first overall in 2003. And those two actually have a bit of a relationship. LeBron has texted him on occasion and given him Twitter shout-outs.
And of course, he has to be a huge LeBron fan, but how about wearing Kobe Bryant's number? I'm not sure if Dylan Mitchell got to 23 first, but Chris Livingston rocking Kobe's 24.
Numbers for the West.
Off glass.
Bailey. Oh, Walker got a piece of it for the East to disrupt it. Whitehead 4-3. And Livingston is there for the putback.
He just plays hard all the time. But look, Chris Livingston is an everyday guy.
They're sprinting back on defense. And again, we're talking about an all-star game. And when coaches are having to burn their timeouts in an all-star game because one team is getting the job done defensively, that's surprising. But when you look at what this East squad has done, they have turned their defense into offense. Dariq Whitehead with the beautiful finger roll, and then of course finding Jarris Walker, who finishes off with a finger roll of his own.
A young Mamba, the iconic Kobe Bryant, Corey.
That's my young fella right there. When you consider Jermaine O'Neal, we talked about Jermaine O'Neal, the 1996 McDonald's All-American game. You also got to talk about Kobe Bean, and we talk about the losses we've had since our last McDonald's game.
And Paul, the MVP of that 1996 McDonald's game was actually Shaheen Holloway.
Shaheen Holloway, soft-spoken, but plays with a big chip. This guy thinks he's the best player on the court. In that game, he was.
And of course, Shaheen Holloway leading St. Peter's to the Elite Eight, a magical run in the tournament, the first ever 15 seed to advance to a regional final.
He never let his size, being under 6 feet, make a difference on how he played and how he did. I recruited him when I was at Boston College, and we got to a point in the conversation where he said, "Coach, I got good news and bad news." I said, "What's the good news?" He goes, "I'm staying in the Northeast." I said, "What's the bad news?" He goes, "I'm staying in Jersey." I said, "Thanks for the tip."
And he's staying in Jersey now, signing on as the new head coach at Seton Hall. And I know Shah's at home watching. And the thing that he's missing most about that time is the fact that he had a full head of hair in 1996.
Oh, you don't have to do him like that, Corey. Come on now. Seriously?
The nation fell in love with Shaheen Holloway.
Oh, Cam Whitmore blew the dunk, but perseverance. Whitmore for 2.
And it's neat to know Shah from when he was a high school player to a big-time college coach right now.
Keontae George has had a slow game thus far. That could awaken things. George, the number 3 player in the class, going to Baylor. Ernest Uday missed the layup, but a foul.
And we have to mention that Keontae George won the three-point shooting contest yesterday. The very last shot, I believe it was a money ball, but he had to make it to win it. He is a crunch-time performer. Had 40 points this year in a game against La Lumiere. Big-time scoring guard, scores at all 3 levels. People will say, you know, he's a combo guard. He's straight buckets. He's all about a 2 guard. Reminds me of somebody I'm sitting next to.
I was a lead guard, remember? I played the point position. I just scored a lot. I was a scoring point guard.
You were a shooting guard.
No, I was no. I had the basketball in my hands. I've got assist records everywhere I've been.
He's a guard.
You got assist records? Wait a minute now. Hold on. Stop the broadcast.
Look it up. Oak Hill,
check
Virginia,
the record books.
Oak Hill, Virginia, and the San Antonio Spurs. Look them up.
I'll believe the shooting records, not the.
Anthony Black scoops it in for the West. Yeah, we'll get our crack research staff on that.
Absolutely.
Right now.
No, I'm sure they've been broken at this point.
Corey, you do know there's a thing called Google.
I sure do.
Okay.
Julian Phillips. That's a 2 for Phillips. Someone is going to get a gem. The top undecided player in the nation.
And Florida State came in second to LSU. They're back on him right now. South Carolina as well.
He would be great for Leonard Hamilton at Florida State, especially when you think about not only his ability to shoot the basketball, but multi-dimensional defensively, being able to switch 1 through 5 the way that they play at Florida State. Julian Phillips would fit in great in the ACC.
Phillips calls himself the humble beast. That's in his Twitter bio. He's actually facing off with his high school teammate Jordan Walsh here tonight. Walsh, a member of the West. They play at Link Academy in Branson, Missouri, a first-year program. And Phillips does enjoy cooking shows.
Well, at 210 pounds, he needs to enjoy eating.
What a finish by Anthony Black.
I'll tell you this, humble beast is also a humble brag, by the way.
He's got high skill level, Julian Phillips. Again, part of the versatility in this class. So many guys 6'8", 6'9", shoot it, handle it, block shots, switch defenders.
Look at this, Morris trying to blow by the 7-footer Kalel Ware, and Morris lost it. Good job by Ware trying to stay in front.
And even Ware and Lively can move their feet on the outside, defending on a switch for 2 or 3 seconds.
Anthony Black just committed to Arkansas last night at the Powerade Jam Fest. Turnover by the West. And the East gives it right back.
Usually in the McDonald's game, they are sloppy. A lot of bad passes. I thought the first half, the guys were very unselfish. The passes were on point. Of course, there was no defense. But this game has not been sloppy.
Wallace against Whitmore. That was halfway down. Cam Whitmore headed to Villanova. Guarded by Cason Wallace going to Kentucky. The kick, Arterio Morris drains the triple. The future Texas Longhorn.
I've been impressed with Morris, his ability to shoot the basketball. More importantly, though, he's gotten after it defensively. His switch from the West to the East has cost the West as he's gotten big buckets and really done the job defensively as well.
Again, that switch happened very early in the weekend with the injuries to Jaden Bradley and MJ Rice on the East squad. NBA Wednesday doubleheader coming your way tomorrow on ESPN. First, the top team in the East, the Miami Heat, matching up with the Boston Celtics. Just 1 game out of first. They're the 4th seed coming into tonight. That's at 7:30 Eastern. Then the team with the best record in the league, the Suns, taking on the Warriors at 10 Eastern. Coverage begins tomorrow. NBA Countdown presented by Mountain Dew at 7 Eastern. Well, we're going to have a few of the players on the floor tonight in the NBA one day. Perhaps Dariq Whitehead even.
He's got a great pull-up jump shot. He loves to shoot it going left, drive going right. Made his shots in the first half, went 3 for 4 from distance. Can attack the rim with some fast twitch fibers. Second half got a little bit cold, but I love Dariq Whitehead because he's a complete all-around player, and he can get after you on the wing defensively.
And Dariq Whitehead is a very young prospect. You're talking about a young man that's 17 years old, doesn't turn 18, and I believe he'll already be at Duke by the time he turns 18 years old. And that's one of the things that NBA scouts often look at, the age of a player. That difference in being 17, being 18, being 19, coming out of high school is a huge difference.
Well, that's great research. He is the youngest player in this game.
Whitehead plays for the defending Geico High School National Champion, Montverde Academy, a powerhouse in Central Florida. And Geico Nationals getting underway Thursday on ESPNU with the quarterfinals. We also have the girls bracket featuring 5 teams this year. First round on Thursday, semifinals on Friday. All gets going Thursday on the ESPN networks.
And the Geico Nationals has 41 ranked players competing for a championship on 8 different teams.
It's going to be a special event. One of my favorite events, of course, tuning in to watch you guys. I'm not coming this year, so I'll be able to sit back and watch you all on TV and throw tomatoes at the screen and criticize you guys.
What's new?
No different than when we were in person.
No difference whatsoever.
This is the McDonald's All-American game. We have not had the game the last 2 years. Rosters have been named in 2020 and 2021, but the game canceled because of the pandemic. It's one of the landmark nights of basketball. Corey, you were a part of it in 1991. It's so good to have it back.
This is the celebration of having a great high school career, and also it's the best high school fraternity to be a part of. I can remember all last season, Paolo Banchero texted me, are we going to have a game? Are we going to have a game? When I finally had to tell him no, there would be no game, he was so disappointed. And he, as well as Trevor Keels, and the class before, when you consider Jeremy Roach, Mark Williams, all those guys, disappointed they didn't have this opportunity.
Keontae George stepping into the passing lane. And we've got an official timeout. Yes, Corey, you know all about the McDonald's All-American game. Oh, look at that head of hair in 1991. Call it for me, Corey.
Look at the dive. Who's only a Stu first point guard? Come on, baby. Step through. No floaters here.
Lead guard.
Mid-range. Where's the 3 ball?
Treating her patients is just the first step. But then Dr. Thompson goes a step further.
Get up on GoodRx to see if we can save.
She helps them find the best prices with GoodRx.
I know you can get discounts on prescriptions. Yeah. And it works at my pharmacy? Yes, it does. Here you go.
Now that's caring.
I think this is, yeah, GoodRx. Hang on a sec. See you in a second. Oh, perfect.
You're good with GoodRx.
Lovevery is a support system for parents and toys for your little one. Everything in the box is designed by experts for each stage of your child's development. We link brain science and Montessori to the way you play. Every 2 to 3 months, a play kit is delivered to your home. It's matched to your child's age and what they are hungry to learn. We've done all the research, so you don't have to. Lovevery provides the map to help you confidently guide your child's learning. Unlock the joy of intentional play.
Hey George, the Baylor signee from Louisville, Texas, winning the 3-point shootout. The money ball for the win for the number 3 player in the ESPN 100, who's with Brooke Weisbrod.
Yeah, Keontae, we were just talking about you winning the 3-point contest last night. So has that magic kind of carried over into tonight with your shots? You feel like you feeling good out here?
Definitely feeling good. Just glad to be out here. The shot feeling well. A couple shots went in. But I'm just coming out here playing with confidence, but most of all, just having a lot of fun.
No doubt. All right, tell me one thing you've learned about your teammates or the guys on the East squad this week.
Not playing them on the court. They cool guys. We always, fighting to win every time I see those guys. But, I got a couple Texas guys on here, so we all know each other. So we just, just learning a lot. They love to have fun. So, they all cool guys.
I'm assuming you enjoyed Lil Baby at halftime?
Of course.
All right, so headed to Baylor, you have to know how to play defense already. So what is it about your defense that you take pride in?
Just stop my man from scoring. That's the main objective. Also, covering up, for my teammate mistake, because, you always got to help them. Just watching a lot of Baylor and then just try to, put it in my game while I'm in high school right now. So when I get there, I'm already used to that type of defense.
You're going to have to line up with this guy right here, Grady Dick, next year. What do you think about that in the Big 12?
Man, I already played him twice, so, he's a good player. He can shoot the ball very well, but I'm going to look forward to playing him, twice again. So, it's a lot of fun playing him.
Nice. All right, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Brooke George with IMG Academy, Dick with Sunrise Christian Academy in Kansas, the #1 high school team in the country. They'll see each other most likely at Geico Nationals later this week on ESPN. George, the highest ranked recruit for Baylor since Isaiah Austin in 2012, who was also number 3 overall, Paul.
And he's averaging 17 points a game this year for IMG. Has the best body control when he gets into the paint to finish.
Smith to the top floor. Mark Mitchell with the finish.
Beautiful find from Nick Smith Jr. and more importantly, directing traffic on the outside, getting exactly what he wanted with Mitchell over the top.
And Livingston hits the bullseye, a 3-ball for the East.
When Chris Livingston gets his feet set, he's a 35% three-point shooter. When he tries to shoot it off the run, off the go, not the same off the dribble.
Nice pass once again.
The wraparound to Dick. And the sandwich. Livingston and Lively combining to stop Dick. Foul call.
But Nick Smith Jr. seeing exactly what he wants on the floor, directing traffic, putting people in place, and then the spot where only Mark Mitchell can go get the basketball and finish it off for the alley-oop.
I mean, he's putting the ball on the deck like he's going to make a dribble move, but his eyes were to the rim. That's why he's special. He's a bucket, an assist, and a defender.
Amari Bailey also pretty special. Number 2 player in the ESPN 100. Couldn't get it to drop. Mark Mitchell scoops it up for the West. Lively the deflection and the steal by Jarris Walker.
Back to the big.
Derek Lively the second. An explosion at the rim.
Smart play by Dylan Mitchell right there. Whenever you got the big guy running like that, you got to get him the basketball, especially when they're getting the job done defensively.
Oh, Kajani Wright trying the scoop. Mark Mitchell with the flush.
Derek Lively, known as a shot blocker, but he's got quick instincts to get steals at 7-1.
Livingston, another lob for Lively.
And did I say he was a lob catcher and finisher? Great hands, the ability to catch it in stride and finish. You can't find bigs to run the floor, catch it, and finish all in one motion. Derek Lively, the best in the class.
And we talk about Derek, we've got to give a shout out Miss Kathy Drysdale, Derek's mom, who's unable to be here this week. Wishing her the best to get well soon. And of course, Derek, thinking about his mom, says he does it for her. And he made sure he lets everyone know his mom gave him the path, and he's following her words.
And his mom was a great player at Penn State. She can put up points and rebounds. Watch Derek Lively. Comes around the top side. Maybe in a real game that's a foul, but not here. I love to give back. And Lively just runs the floor as well as any big, rim to rim. I mean, he's looking for lobs in transition, and guys are looking for him.
He really is, and he's a prototypical big in the NBA right now. You're talking about someone who has three-point range, but also changes into the floor, can guard pick and roll, and block shots at the rim. That's one of the reasons why so many of these NBA scouts in attendance this week have just fallen in love with Derek Lively.
Corey and Paul, how does Lively, the #1 player in the class of 2022, compare to Chet Holmgren, the #1 player last year?
He's not the shot blocker, and he doesn't have the skill that Holmgren has. Chet can really shoot it from the outside. Derek Lively, capable shooter, great shot blocker, but Chet, I think he's a world-class shot blocker. I really do, and I love his jump shot. And he plays with a little bit more of an edge than Lively. Lively plays hard, but Holmgren, he plays with edge.
But let me also add this. Lively, a much better athlete than Chet Holmgren.
Oh,
Chet
no
puts it on the floor better, but Derek is a much better athlete.
Deontay George gathers and puts it in for the West.
And I love the way Derek just runs rim to rim. You see him straight line runs. And he outruns most opponents.
Yeah, he's so fluid, isn't he, at his size? 7'2". Cam Whitmore with the bucket. Again, part of that #1 recruiting class going to Duke to play for John Shire.
There's an NBA draft tomorrow from this group. Lively goes #1.
Absolutely. But
it's what he does now and what he can do in the future.
But let me ask you this. Does Ware go #2?
No, not 2, maybe 3.
Who do you take 2?
I'm taking Nick Smith Jr. at 2. Ware's got to show more. Ware's got to play harder all the time.
I tell you what, Ware's potential, he may have the highest ceiling of anyone in this group when you consider his ability not only to run the floor, defend the rim, get up and down, but he has great hands, and that's one of the things that you look for in a 7-footer is their ability to catch the basketball, especially in transition.
If he brings an everyday effort, he could be the #1 pick among this group. But because he doesn't bring that everyday charge, that energy level, we see Lively running. Ware picks his spots. He's got to do it all the time.
Well, I tell you one thing, though, that's a difference. When you're getting paid to do it, oftentimes you
I don't
bring
agree
that
with
spot
that.
a little more.
You either do it now or you don't do it at all.
Okay. I didn't play in the NBA for 7 years. I wouldn't know.
Did it change for you at all, Corey, or in your experience with teammates?
It's a difference because in my generation, there was no such thing as a motor. Everybody played hard. And today, there are motors. That's a skill right now, but it's often learned when you have that money motivating you.
And when I look at guys on the court right now, the hardest playing dudes, it's Jordan Walsh, it's Chris Livingston, it's Nick Smith Jr., Jarris Walker plays hard. Grady Dick plays really hard. Derek Lively. Those guys are every possession guys.
But, PB, you would also have to admit that most of the times in the NBA draft, it's more about potential than it is production at this point.
Oh, no question about it. But if you got both, like with Lively, that's why I say he goes in front of Ware.
Oh, no. I wasn't saying that. I agree with you on Lively being 1. I was saying would Ware be next. But you like Nick Smith, and I love Nick Smith Jr. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't take him second either, but I think that Ware
Cam
is
Whitmore!
a big-time prospect.
Massive slam. Sorry, Corey, I thought that deserved the interruption.
No problem.
And I'll tell you,
anytime.
I'll tell you who I'm going to take fourth. Dylan Mitchell, all day, every day.
Who's third?
Where?
Oh, okay. I got you. Fair enough.
Keontae George with the 3 for the West. Cam Whitmore has made a positive impression with NBA scouts so far this week. He just made an impression a moment ago.
Well, Baltimore, stand up. You're talking Cam Whitmore. Team Melo's finest, attacking the bucket and finishing it off with authority. Wearing the 22, just like Melo did way back in 2002.
So my brain is wired to eat more when I'm watching TV?
Noom Weight uses psychology to help you understand your habits, change them, and realize that when it comes to losing weight, it's psychological. Sign up now and lose weight for good at Noom.com.
If you suffer from depression or anxiety and feel alone, get the help you need at lemonadehealth.com. Get personalized treatment from Lemonade's caring medical staff from the comfort of your home. And prescriptions are promptly sent to your door. 80% of patients who start treatment with Lemonade feel better within 3 months. Visit us at lemonadehealth.com today.
All-American Boys Game is presented by McDonald's. Some of the greats of years past were celebrating the 45th anniversary of the McDonald's All-American Game. The first time since 2019 it's being played. Yes, Kevin Durant years ago on this stage. And now the class of 2022 owning the stage here tonight in Chicago. Ted Emmerich, Corey Alexander, Paul Biancardi, Brooke Weisbrod, our entire crew. The East really putting things away here in the second half. Cam Whitmore leads all scorers, in fact, with 15 points. The future Villanova Wildcat, here he is.
And Cam Whitmore was one of the players that I asked who would be the MVP who did not say him. He said, we'll see. But right now, he may be one of the guys in the lead for gaining that award.
Nice dish to Ernest Uday for the slam.
We didn't talk a lot about Uday. Big guys don't get the ball much in the McDonald's All-American All-Star Game. But Uday, great hands, a strong low post presence. One of the most consistent players in the class.
And PB, that's one of the reasons why this is so surprising. With the West having the guards that they have, I thought we would see a big-time performance from them, but the East defensively took over this game in the first half, and they've never let up.
Brandon Miller misses the 3. And remember, the East short-handed coming in. Jaden Bradley, unavailable, broken toe on his right foot. Mark Mitchell with the layup for the West. MJ Rice out as well. And yet the East is putting it on.
And Jaden Bradley going to Alabama. He's going to get that offense right next year. I thought there was a little bit of chemistry issues this year for Nate Oates.
And speaking of Alabama, you also got Brandon Miller. So when you think about those two guys, both playmakers, you're talking about a point guard and a point forward going to play for Nate Oates. And Nate Oates, the way that they love to shoot the 3, you've got two guys who can make plays, find their shooters on the outside, and of course push it in transition.
We send it over to Brooke with the #1 player in the class, Derek Lively.
Yeah, Derek, you're having quite the impact out here, getting all over the glass, and Paulie loves the way that you catch alley-oop. So is that something that just came naturally to you? Who taught you that?
You know, I can't say it came naturally. I definitely put in a lot of hard work hours in the gym, making sure I got my timing right, my footwork right, and my hands right. Being able to be out with this team, having a good time with all the amazing players is just something that's great to be here.
And I know you learned a lot from your mom. She was a baller back in her day, and you guys worked out a lot together. What would you say a part of your game reflects what she taught you?
She taught me everything I know in the paint, the footwork, the timing, everything about basketball I owe it to her. And I know she's watching, so wherever you are, hi, Mom.
Definitely. Love to give the shout out to Mom. So what would you say has been the most memorable part of this experience for you at the McDonald's All-American Games?
it would either be the amount of practice and the amount of hard work we've been putting in, or when we went to the Ronald McDonald and we had to, we were talking with Justine, who's just a great person in her family. Being able to be involved in the community, just something great that we just love doing here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. The Ronald McDonald House Charities was a big part of the event for these guys. Appreciate it, Derek. Thank you.
And I love the way Derek he was honest about it. I had the opportunity to, of course, coach Derek, be around him when he was at the Nike Elite 100 in St. Louis after his freshman year in high school, and he was nowhere near this level of a prospect. And you think about seeing him, of course, we go through the pandemic. I see him 2 years later playing for team final, and he is an absolute stud. As Paul talked about, the lob threat, the shot blocking, the ability to knock down the three. We couldn't keep him healthy and on the floor when we had him in St. Louis.
Usually young bigs take a time to develop, but he had all the physical tools. Now you look at the measurables. 7'2", 7-foot 8-inch wingspan, and a 9-foot 2-inch standing reach. That's NBA center size.
And he's working on the three ball as well.
And he's very capable from three. And he played with that team final AAU team that beat Bradley Beal Elite at the Peach Jam. And Jalen Duren and Derek Lively was a great combination, big to big.
That's a pretty special front court.
Yeah, Duren, a lottery pick coming up this year. Lively could very well be a lottery pick in 2023. If not #1 overall.
I think Paul and I both agree that he most likely will be that #1 pick. But there is one kid in France. I'm not sure, is he 2022 or 23?
2023.
May be some competition coming from across the water.
And Lively's going to be challenged at Duke, obviously. He's got Christian Reeves to go against in practice every day, the 7-footer from Oak Hill. Mark Mitchell, Dariq Whitehead, Jaden Shute. What a class for John Shire. Your first head job is Duke, and you have the #1 class, and maybe their best class ever.
Foul called. Khalil Ware inside. Lively heading to Durham to play for John Shire. Lively has made an impact, to say the least.
Engaged and not sure what to do next? Zola is the one place to start. Start with venues and vendors near you that fit your style and budget. Then explore save the dates and invites. Get free samples to see them in real life. Keep guests updated on a free matching website. And even stream virtual events on it for free. Then build your registry. Add gifts to make married life even sweeter. Get started for free at Zola.com.
ED is difficult for me and for my partner. Through HIMS, I can message a licensed provider about clinically proven ED treatments. Like the generic form of Viagra, which is backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee. Then HIMS ships discreetly to my door for free. I never knew it could be this easy to get my confidence back. Now we can both count on a great experience every time. Love your results or your money back when you go to forhims.com.
Welcome back to the 2022 McDonald's All-American Boys Game. Wrapping up what has been a special week here in Chicago, starting with practices on Saturday night for both the boys and girls teams, scrimmages on Sunday, the Powerade Jam Fest last night, and the games here tonight. Back on the schedule for the first time in 3 years. We've gotten a good look at the stars of tomorrow.
I believe so, and more importantly, I love the way that these young men have approached this week a much more business-like manner than what we've seen in the past in the McDonald's game. A very competitive first half, and defense, not something we're used to seeing in this game, but I like the way they've competed all week long.
Here's Jordan Walsh heading to Arkansas, top 10 player in the class, missing 3. Paulie, what has really stood out to you over the last few days?
I like their competitive spirit and their togetherness. You know, they all get along off the court. They're great kids. This is a great character group. You won't find anybody here that you don't like. There's nobody here with a bad attitude. And then when they get on the court, you know, they roll up their sleeves and then get after it. I like the competition level. I like the versatility. And I like the way they're good teammates to each other.
And if I could add anything to that, it's their graciousness. I believe that after not having this game for the past 2 seasons, I think this class has really taken advantage of their opportunity, and they're thankful to be able to be here and to play this game where the last two classes have not been able to do so.
Yeah, you can feel that grateful spirit within this group.
And again, NBA scouts have been in attendance all week, checking out every practice, every scrimmage, constantly evaluating.
I'll tell you what else I noticed. I didn't notice anyone being selfish. Practice, scrimmage, or in this game. And nobody was, just all for themselves.
Amari Bailey, Chicago's own, as the layup. 3 minutes to play. Lively trying to keep it alive. Loose ball. Picked up by Chris Livingston, fouled by Kajani Wright.
Chris Livingston can play a point forward at Kentucky. We see him rebound, run, push it, kick it to the corner. He can initiate offense. He's great at slashing to the basket. Terrific at second chance opportunities. He could be a screener and pop guy, three-point shooter. I mean, he just brings the energy. He reminds me in many ways of a poor man's Jimmy Butler.
Sports Center with SVP coming your way next here on ESPN. Yes, Giannis versus Joel Embiid. Also, star of Villanova this year. We've seen a lot of Cam Whitmore here tonight. We'll join Villanova next year. Star of this Final Four squad joining SVP. And Tiger at the Masters. Could it really happen? Sports Center, SVP coming up next. But first, Dylan Mitchell hurting the rim again.
And that goes back to what Paul was talking about, the unselfishness of this group. Guys not looking for their own, but looking out for their teammates. At this point where you got, oftentimes see guys trying to get their numbers for that MVP award, they're still sharing the basketball.
And Bailey draws the foul. One more look at Dylan Mitchell soaring.
But somebody needs to measure this young man's vertical. Because if Jordan Walsh is 41, he's got a few more inches on Walsh and everybody else in this class.
Paulie, we've asked around, even at his school, Montverde Academy, the powerhouse in Central Florida, they say, well, we really haven't measured it yet. It's like, can we get on that, please?
It's not even the explosiveness. We haven't seen it tonight, but the second jump is extremely quick.
Give him about a year and 2 months. At the NBA Combine, I'm sure they'll be measuring it.
Yes, they definitely measure there, Corey, no doubt. Oh, Mitchell there for the tip in. No, it won't count. It was in the cylinder. How about that little basket interference at the McDonald's game?
How does the official call that off in the McDonald's? You got to let that go, Mr. Ref.
That's like calling a charge. That's like calling a charge.
Absolutely.
Play the FIBA rules.
Letter of the law, Corey. Letter of the law.
Hey, Corey, I want to give you some McDonald's trivia since you gave it to me earlier.
Let's go. Let's go.
Now, you know that every NCAA tournament team has had a McDonald's All-American that's won a national championship, except for 2002, Maryland, and 2014 with UConn. Name a McDonald's All-American on each team in the Final Four.
All right, so for Kansas, you've got David McCormack. For Duke, you've got the entire starting five. For North Carolina, you've got Caleb Love, R.J. Davis, Armando Bacot. And for Villanova, you have...
I'll give you some time. Let's talk about Dariq Whitehead for a second.
Let's talk about the McDonald's All-American MVP. Dariq Whitehead, such a strong start, 11 of his 13 points coming in the first half. He hit 3 threes.
Dariq Whitehead, a big-time performer, and more importantly, showing off his shooting stroke early in this game. He has really put the work in on his game. Of course, the great tutelage of Kevin Boyle at Montverde, but he's just a young man. I watched him as an 8th grader. He was nowhere near the skill guy. He was a great athlete, but he has added a lot of skill over the years.
I love his completeness, the ability to handle it, shoot it, drive it, and rebound.
We send it over to Brooke with Dariq Whitehead.
Dariq, congratulations. You're named MVP of this game. I mean, amongst the best of the best, you're now named the MVP. So what does this award mean amongst all the other ones you've already won?
I'm about to say, this one right here is definitely special. You know, this one I'm going to remember forever. You know, just knowing that there's a lot of great guys, a lot of people going to be pros that came here, and I got MVP out of all of them. It's something I'm going to forever forget.
The guys over there, absolutely. The guys over there are talking about how it's been all business on the court. You guys are able to, get along, get to know each other. But when it's out here, it's game time. But it's also the unselfishness and graciousness. How would you kind of encapsulate everything that's been going on off the court?
I feel like, coming into the game, we took that serious. They beat us in a scrimmage. So, we want to come back and, not lose
lose twice. And that's something we talked about for days prior to this game. Just come out and make sure we beat them. And if we could beat them by 20 plus, do so. And that's what we did.
You sure did. You made it happen.
Yes, we did.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
And Ted, I found the answer. I didn't look at my phone. Paul saw I didn't look at my phone. The McDonald's All-American Villanova is Brian Antoine.
100%, Corey.
Well done.
That UVA education is paying off right now.
Might have an increased role with the Justin Moore injury.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, deep three going down. Case and Wallace headed to Kentucky in the final seconds, ticking away. The East hitting triple digits in the return of the McDonald's All-American game. Mitchell splashes one into the final score, 105-81. The East victorious here in Chicago. So good to have the game back and all the festivities. The future stars of basketball on display here in Chicago this week. It started with practices on Saturday, the skills competition, the Powerade Jam Fest last night. Keontae George, the three-point shootout winner. Nick Smith put it down. Ashlyn Watkins won it. Now to SportsCenter, Scott Van Pelt. What's going on?